This is an official TTRT documentation. The following interview is with a gentleman who claims abuse and misconduct from our Pima County Sheriffs. We're going to post this to the YouTube channel, and I might let some other people look at it, and actually I will. And state your name for the record, sir.
My name is William Eugene Ward Jr.
Okay, and what agency specifically are we talking about here?
The Pima County Sheriff's Department in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay, and let me know what's your take on the start to finish. Kind of fill in the blanks and just give me an overall description of what's happened to you and then leading up to where you're at now.
Well, one evening around 11 o'clock, my vehicle was tampered with. I noticed the Pima County Sheriff's vehicle sitting across the street from my home at a Circle K. I did what my attorney told me to do. I walked over with a legal pad and a pen and was writing down the information on the police car, the number, the plate number, the number on the car, and the time and description of the officer. As I started to head back towards my home, the officer came out of the Circle K. He was screaming and yelling and cussing obscenities at me. I thought, well, I should just go on home, but then I thought, no, I should do what the officer said and return. I walked back over there. After a few minutes of him screaming and yelling at me, I was hit from behind, knocked about approximately 8 feet through the air, unconscious. When I came to, he had me by the ankles with my shoes and socks off, and just drove me skull first into the ground, which caused a head injury as well as it broke my neck in 3 places.
What was the tampering with the vehicle issue? What was going on with that?
I'm sorry, sir?
You said something about someone was tampering with your vehicle. Was that the sheriff's or was it somebody else?
No, it was Pima County Sheriff.
What did they do? What did they do to the vehicle?
They kept ripping the wires loose to my brake lights and backup lights and running lights. It was a 93 Ford F-350 dually pickup, and I've actually caught them after they had done that to my truck. I caught them in the process of tampering with my other vehicle as well.
And this is the night they broke your bones?
Yeah, this was the night they broke my neck in 3 places.
And was there any witnesses to this event?
Yes, my wife and my son. My wife at the time.
How old was your son at the time?
My son was approximately 15.
Okay. And after this event, what happened? Did you get an attorney? Did you file a risk management claim? What happened?
Well, after this took place, breaking my neck, I was taken to St. Mary's Hospital, where they knew that my neck was broke, so they took me to the hospital part of Pima County Jail, and that's where a in-charge, higher-ranking officer put industrial cleaning fluid in my food, which has caused permanent damage to my organs, and so I got an attorney, and should I mention his name, sir?
Well, that's up to you.
Well, his name was Ivan Abrams. He was located in downtown Tucson, right across from the courthouse there on North Church. But anyways, he let on like he was handling my case, and he ran the time out on my case. And then, just before my time was ran out on my case, I asked him if they were going to help me to sue the Pima County Sheriff's Department for what they did to me and my family. And he said that we're not about to sue the Pima County government. Next thing I knew, he's in Pakistan, Europe. So his legal advisor, John Satone, said that he's in Pakistan, Europe on a government job.
Did you have a contract with this attorney, and within the contract, do you know if he was specified to take it to trial?
Yes.
And was this a paid attorney?
Yes. Yeah, he was going to, if in winning the case, he was going to take a percentage out of my case, out of my lawsuit.
Okay, and if in fact the contract did say that he was supposed to take it to trial, did he refer you out to another attorney to pick up where he left off?
No, sir.
No. Do you have a copy of that contract?
My ex-wife does somewhere in her legal, paperwork.
I see. After all of this and during your recovery, did you do an internal affairs complaint or anything of that nature besides the attorney getting involved?
Yeah, each time there's been, in my opinion, misconduct on the Pima County Sheriff's Department's part, I have tried to contact Internal Affairs, and I have been told, well, I have to run it by my supervisor, this, that, and the other, and have never heard back from them.
Aha. Is there any chance you have any of that on audio?
No, sir, I don't have any audio tapes to this.
Okay. And then what's happened after that event? The attorney bailed on you, basically, as you allege. What's the next chain of events that happened that led you up to where you're at now?
I have been receiving what I consider crank calls from the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and each time it happens, I put that number in my phone, and I put it down under Pima County Sheriff because I can't get their name. They won't give me their name. And I also had a detective call me and hang up. The duration of the phone call was 1 second. I called him right back, left a voicemail. Still did not hear back from him, so I called him again the following day. He answered the phone, identified himself as a Pima County Sheriff detective, but would not give his name. And I, told him that you called me at 1:18 p.m. He said, no, I didn't. I said, yes, sir, you did. And he said, well, let me check my outgoing calls. And he let on like he was going to call me back. I waited 5 to 10 minutes, went to call him back, and the number had been changed. The recording said that I had reached a number that was no longer in order or had been disconnected.
This is important. It may be anyway, on any of the calls that they made to you recently, does it say Pima County Sheriffs when it comes over your caller ID?
Yes, sir, it does.
Really?
Yes.
Very interesting. Are you aware that there's statutes out there that say something about telephonic harassment?
No, sir, I was not. And that's another thing they've done in the past is they have repeatedly called me for donations, and they call it the Fraternal Brotherhood.
Is that so? They're probably going to have that for one of their balls.
Yeah.
But I heard the sheriff don't have balls.
Well, I'm not too sure about that, sir. I'm not one to, put people down, but I know what they're doing to me and what they did to me in front of my son and my wife. It was definitely cowardly.
Are you familiar with the SWAT team of the sheriffs going in and shooting that Marine in front of the wife, basically, while she was hiding in the closet with her kid, pretty much? Did you hear about that?
Yes, sir, I did hear something about that.
That was pretty unreasonable, and I think they could have found a different way that was more peaceful, like pick him up on his way home from work. And in your case, they might have had actually a civilized conversation instead of whatever they beat you over the head with. But okay, so where are we at now? The calls that they made are current, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, or recent. So
recent, yes.
When was
I had 2 of them made to me today.
Today.
And when I asked the officer, what was going on, he said that he was trying to call a female by the name of Tammy, and that he had my phone number, and then when I hung up, he called me back again. I identified myself as Bill Wharf, and he said, oh, I'm sorry, Bill Wharf, or Bill, he referred to me, I'm sorry, Bill, I called the wrong number. And he had just called it not 2 minutes before.
And this guy wouldn't identify himself either?
No, he would not give his name.
I see. Okay, so is there? When did the initial incident happen as compared to where you're at now currently?
The neck-breaking incident.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That took place approximately 6 years ago, and it's cost me my marriage and a great deal.
Would you say? What is your opinion of your damages from that incident? Have they stopped? Are they still ongoing?
Oh yeah, I deal with chronic pain, sciatic nerve, which is the sciatica nerve that runs down your legs. I deal with nerves down my arms, and I'm looking at yet probably 2 more surgeries.
I see.
My neck is titanium. They broke my neck in 3 places.
Have you attempted to find another attorney for this overall issue, or did you just what's your status on that?
Me and my wife at the time did, and we couldn't get an attorney that would handle the case against the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I'm not sure if it's due to intimidation tactics or what, but they are pretty good at intimidating.
Yeah, I'm aware of that firsthand, actually. Is there anything else you'd like to touch upon in the subject matter of this overall issue?
Well, if I have a problem with someone, they immediately tell that person to get an injunction or a restraining order against me. So therefore, I have dealt with some harassment, and I know it was brought on by the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I spoke with one person that they were making a deal with so that that person would harass me, and therefore it would have cost me my life. And inadvertently, it would have been caused by the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
Well, I would speculate that it's probably almost already cost you your life, or a good percentage of a quality walking life. So what kind of death threats? Have they made any death threats or any other threats against your person? Any other bodily harm threats? Or?
Well, prior to breaking my neck, I was shot twice, point blank, with bean bags. Once in the left leg, which the knee was blown out. I hadn't even been, had surgery yet. And then they shot me in the back of the right leg, blew a 1/4 pound of meat off the head. And I, so my kids couldn't see it, I took my pants off in the bathroom and put that meat down the toilet so that they couldn't see it. And that injury took 8 months to heal, and that was after gangrene was setting in.
What brought on that incident? Did you date one of these guys' daughters? They seem like they're mad at you. I mean, what brought that on?
Al Williams, an officer in 3 Points when I lived in 3 Points. He was harassing me continuously, and one day I was pulled over on the side of the road with my wife and kids, and he went to draw his gun, was going to shoot me right there. I had not committed any crimes, was being respectful to him. He went to draw his gun and shoot me, and I had taken it that he had just blacked out. And to draw him out of that blackout, I says, "What are you going to do? You're going to shoot me right here in front of my wife and kids?" And at that point, he reholstered his gun and made a threat to me and drove off.
What was the threat before he drove off?
The threat was, if you're still here in 5 minutes, when I get back, I'm going to arrest you and take you to jail.
What for?
That's a good question. I was sitting on the side of the road. I don't know what I was doing wrong.
So what do you think it might have been? Just retaliation, and he was going to unlawful imprison you under the guise of some mystery statute?
Yes, sir, I do. I do honestly believe that. And I know he was a corrupt police officer. He was in with someone by the name of Larry Benson, who was moving illegal immigrants out there, as well as drugs.
And that was one of his cop buddies?
Yeah, it was one of his police officer buddies, yes.
Do you have any way to verify this allegation? Once again, do you have any footage of it or any audio or witnesses?
No, I wish I did. My family witnessed it, and the harassment that was brought on by Larry Benson, and the fact that when the police would come out, they would take Larry Benson's side and scream and yell at me, and yeah, there was quite a bit of abuse.
Aha. So, they know, let me see if I get this straight. You're telling me that certain sheriffs know that you know about one of their sheriff's buddies running illegal aliens or something, as you allege, and that could be a retaliation thing for everything you've experienced from that point forward?
Yes, sir, because I tried to turn in a dirty cop, a dirty Pima County Sheriff's officer.
Have you ever contacted the FBI or the Department of Justice or anybody else besides the Sheriff's Internal Repairs Unit?
Yes, sir. I contacted the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and they said that they do not handle cases against police officers.
Oh, is that what they said? Do you have that guy's name that said that?
No, sir. I do not. But I also contacted the Border Patrol at the time and spoke with a gentleman by the name of Tony Taylor, and he was a high-ranking officer with the Border Patrol, and he told me that if I ever mentioned his name to anyone, that he would deny that we ever had a conversation.
Is that so?
Yes, sir.
Well, I suspect once I post this to YouTube, he's going to deny that you ever had a conversation. And once again, do I have your permission to post this interview to YouTube?
You most certainly do, sir.
Very good. So all in all, this whole story, all the stories and incidents, stems from you initially wanting to turn in a dirty cop, as you put it, and
yes, sir.
So this is all retaliation. In my mind, it's to get you to leave town. How do you? What's your take on it besides retaliation, or what's your take on all of this? Let me hear it in your words.
Well, in my opinion, they've had a vendetta, personal vendetta, towards me and against me ever since. And when I've had to call them to my home in a police emergency, they have twisted things around in the police reports. I have here one right now where a neighbor assaulted me, tried to take my life December the 11th of 2010, and they came out. Even all the evidence showed that the neighbor was lying, that the neighbor was on whiskey, more than one alcoholic type beverage, that he was beating on his wife, and she even had marks on her face, and everything was twisted around to make it look like I did that. And I've never hit a woman in my life, never would. I'd let a woman beat me into a puddle of my own blood before I would ever hurt a woman. In 20 years of marriage, I never laid a hand on my wife that wasn't out of affection.
Excellent. Is there anything else that you think is pertinent that people need to know about, or that's a key point to your situation?
Well, I think in my case, I should have documented things a lot more. Videotape, audio. One of the cameras that I had running at the time, they took a laser to just prior to injuring me. So, you need to make sure your cameras are, good high-quality cameras if you're going to run cameras at your home. Same with, audio tape. I should have done more audio taping. I should have, I had never had a problem like this before in my life. Really didn't know the steps and procedures to take. But I would be very thorough in your documentation, taking notes, audio tape, videotape of everything that happens, so that you can substantiate what's happening against you.
Right. And on another aspect of that, would your ex-wife and your son be willing to be interviewed?
I know that my son would be willing to be interviewed. My ex-wife, due to the fact that she has been just literally scared to death in regards to what's happened to us in our marriage, I don't know that she would, but you never know. She just might be willing to do that.
Okay. Well, we could start with your son. How old is your son now? Probably 21?
My son's 23 years old
23?
now.
Okay. Well, if he's willing, we could get a second part of this story from someone else's perception. and which would only add to your credibility if a witness was available. And on that note, I'm going to have to end this documentation now at 5:46 p.m. Monday, 6/13/2011. End this documentation now.